Hello and welcome back to A Better World. This is your host Mitchell J. Rabin, and we're very glad that you're joining us again today. Today we are on location in Soho at 560 Broadway at the Donahue Sosinski Gallery, where we are joined by Karin Von Roques, who's the director of the Herman Hesse Museum in Lugano, Switzerland. And she is here mounting a show of something that is not altogether well known, but that is of Herman Hesse as a painter, as a watercolor artist. And there are some very beautiful, striking images that he is now pretty well known for in some circles. And Karin is going to be speaking with us about his work as an artist and about what the Herman Hesse Museum is doing, the projects it's launching in New York, and about the Herman Hesse Museum altogether. So Karin, thanks so much for being on the show.
Hello, I'm glad to be here.
Good. So in your capacity as director of the Herman Hesse Museum, what is it that brought you to New York, and what is it that you're embarking upon here?
Yeah, we started our museum in the last year. It was just founded last year in the place where Herman Hesse was the most part of his life living, and where he was writing the most important works like Siddhartha and Steppenwolf. So this museum was last year opened up in the house, what is called the Casa Camuzzi in Montagnola. Montagnola is 10 minutes from Lugano on a hill with a beautiful view into the lake and the mountains.
Lugano has got to be one of the most beautiful places on earth. I remember when I was 17 passing through there, as a kid hitchhiking through Switzerland, and I thought I had found paradise.
Yeah, it is really, it must have been the same impression for
Hesse, right.
It was very special.
One of many things we have in common.
Yeah, anyway, when he was in a very special situation in his life and came down to Lugano and started out of his life.
And what year was that approximately?
Pardon?
What year was that approximately that he did that?
It was in 1919 when he came there. And he died there also in 1962. But never there was a Herman Hesse Museum made, although a lot of people already came to see where were the original places he stayed. So in the last year, through the private initiative, you will see later also the founder of our museum, he has come over here. It has been possible to open up this museum, and it was inaugurated in the last year.
Yes.
So we are now 1 year, not even 1 year working, and we have seen that Hesse's popularity is so big and so international that we decided we have a good chance with it, and we will open up a foundation which one seat will be in New York. And we will have a lot of programs in the spirit of Herman Hesse.
Wonderful. Well, I know that for myself, Herman Hesse was one of my great heroes and mentors in the formative years of my development, and gave me a sense of spirituality and human relationship in a way that I did not garner from ordinary influences in my life, living in suburban New York. But Hesse brought in a quality of vitality, of intelligence, of conscience that we all admire him greatly for.
Yeah, what is really a phenomenon, and it is that he is the most translated and most read author in the world. He was translated in 50 languages, and he is, you must imagine that he has like fans. He has fans in Japan, he has fans in America, he has even fans in Persia or in China. So these are all different cultures, different mentalities, and it is really a chance because people, then I have to add, there was made research what is attracting so much, why the people are attracted so much by Herman Hesse. So they tell he has gone through personal suffering, but he found his way. And by finding his own way, he has never been corrupted. That means he was a man who has integrity, he was a personality, he was honest, he was modest, he was humble, he was cosmopolitan, he was honorable, he was interested in all other cultures, so he was tolerant. And
highly creative and imaginative.
Yes, and really this, and I mean, the people identify themselves, even young people identify themselves with Herman Hesse.
Oh, very much so.
And this gives a big chance that we can set up programs which bring, for example, also young people in discussion about values, for example, about ethic and moral values, to make programs which give like dialogue with other cultures, or dialogue between the religions to create more tolerance. And that is what is our intention.
Part of your goals.
Yes. So we have in Switzerland, we have the museum in the place where he was living, where you can see artifacts, things out of his life. So this is like the physical body where you can go and have a little bit of his life and imagination about it. And the foundation will practically create these programs, but we really do it internationally. And we make one seat in New York, because New York really is like a meeting point in the world. So here really everybody...
We like to think so.
Yeah, in New York really every...
Yes. All cultures meet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is really a melting pot here.
It is a nexus.
And you can really very good work also from here.
Yes.
So we will have this Switzerland and New York.
Right, in dialogue.
Yeah, exactly.
Wonderful, wonderful. This is a beautiful purpose and mission statement for the Hesse Museum, and it's really very consonant with his life. I think he would most likely be very pleased and gratified to know that how he is being regarded in the 20th and the 21st centuries is in this really noble way.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that there are a lot of problems which is common in the world, like global problems like nature, there is
environmental,
more and more violence and all these problems. So it is really very good to come up with programs who let people, make people think about, especially young people.
Absolutely.
They need new values and identification figure, and it is really very good that it is in this case really a writer who has had a Nobel
has gone
Prize
through
and has
the process of life
that's
in
why
a
he
powerful
has
way.
Credibility, because he has all suffered himself.
Sure, absolutely.
And
what I would like to do, Karin, I'm sorry for interrupting, it's that I'm conscious of time, and while I know it's eternal, I would like to take some of its relative aspects and show some of the works that he's done. Okay, could you take us for a tour?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
So,
excellent.
Okay, are we going on?
One sec. So, Karin, it is known to many that Hermann Hesse was in analysis with the famed Swiss psychologist Carl Jung. Could you just tell a little bit about the reasons for that?
Yes, he has to go. He has decided to go into analysis because he was in a very desperate situation.
Yes.
He tried
personally.
Very hard, yes, he tried very hard to have a bourgeois life.
Yes.
Which he could not handle very well.
Few artists can.
Yes, and then then the First World War started.
There is painting.
Has had a shock. Really, with the First World War. Then his father died, and his youngest son was very ill. And that was the moment where he really was so desperate that he started to have an analysis at the lung and then at Jung.
I see. He picked well.
They recommended him to paint.
And that was the beginning. It was Jung's suggestion that he paints.
He already has painted before, but then he seriously started to
Took it up. Yes. Could you tell us, we've already begun to cover some of the watercolors.
This, for example, is called Red House. He has done this in the following. You will see there are more of these red houses. In 19, he moved, he decided to make his new life, to be consequently a poet and a painter. So he moved to Tessin in Switzerland, and he made, apart from his books he wrote, he made his paintings. And this is in the area where he lived.
I see.
So this is in the place near Lugano. And
Yes.
he has had a motif, what he often repeated, that was called Red House.
I see. You know, there's, if I may say, not being an art historian like yourself, just an appreciator of art, there is a very wonderful simplicity, colorful simplicity. It's not, the simplicity isn't at the expense of the beauty.
It is that you could naturally tell a lot about what his painting is actually. But what is very characteristic is his color. He's very famous for his brilliant colors he did. Somehow,
they're quite consistent as well.
Yes. Somehow he finds through the painting he finds his inner peace. So that is, and he has had a lot of other friends naturally who were famous painters, expressionists, and from the fourth he had a lot of friends.
Sure.
He gets somehow influenced, but not really influenced. The first thing was that he painted because it was for him necessary. As he said himself, if I would not have had the painting, sorry for my English, I would not live anymore. Because also he has always had the tendency, first when he was in this desperate situation, to make suicide.
Oh.
Even he had once done, he tried.
An attempt,
yes.
Yes.
When he was very young.
I'm glad he failed at that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
And the painting was kind of healing for him.
Oh yeah, well I think that it's best when it's healing for any painter. So, as you were saying, he reached a sense of inner peace. Many seem, unfortunately, reach an inner chaos. So Hesse, in characteristic form, reached into his highest self, I think.
Exactly. I mean, what you now showing here is really the area where he lived. He made a lot of walks, and when then he sit in the nature. Also, the relationship with the nature was important for him. He has had a garden. He liked to work in the garden, and he liked very much to be in the nature and paint.
Wonderful, wonderful. And these are on exhibit now here.
Yes.
At this gallery, and they will also be shown soon at the Goethe Museum, is that correct?
No, in the Oglethorpe Museum in Atlanta, and then we will have also others in Moscow, St. Petersburg, in South America. There are a lot of people interested because it is one part not that known of him, but it is a very beautiful part.
I see.
And we only show 20 here. But he has made more than 3,000 he has left after his death.
That many?
Yes.
Well, now we are going to be speaking briefly with Jean Olenishin, who is the founder of the Herman Hesse Museum, who speaks Italian only, so Karin will be kind enough to do some translation. Jean, welcome to the show.
This is our founder of the museum and also the founder of the foundation, Herman Hesse Foundation.
What is it that motivated you in the first place to begin the museum?
Cosa ti ha motivato di fare il museo?
Beh, prima di tutto la mia attività artistica.
First of all, I have myself, I'm an artist and I did a lot of activities in this field.
La mia conoscenza di Heiner Hesse, il figlio di Herman Hesse.
I always knew the son of Herman Hesse, Heiner Hesse, he is still alive.
Che abita vicino a casa mia.
He is still living in this part, near to his house.
Near Lugano.
Yes.
Con il quale abbiamo fondato il museo.
With him I founded the museum because I add now myself, it was the greatest wish of Heiner Hesse to have this museum.
Va bene.
Benissimo.
That's very good. And what is your involvement now? What is it that you want to do with the museum?
Cosa vuoi fare con il museo?
Beh, questa è la direttrice, Karin Von Roques, direttrice del museo,
Yeah, this is
che sta preparando il programma internazionale e la promozione della Fondazione Herman Hesse. Noi vogliamo mantenere lo spirito di Herman nel luogo dove ha abitato praticamente tutta la sua vita, dal 19 al 62.
This is the task of Karin Von Roques, the director, who is setting up the international program, promotes the museum, and this all is in the spirit of Herman Hesse.
Indeed. Well, I want to thank you both.
Thank you.
Grazie.
Thank you.
Muchas grazie. Molto grazie. I appreciate very much having you both on the show.
Thank you.
It's really been a pleasure, and I really want to encourage you to continue to spread the word of and the spirit of Herman Hesse in the world, because it resounds everywhere.
Thank you.
Everyone responds. So I want to thank you all very much for joining us yet again on A Better World here on location in wonderful Soho, New York City. And please come and visit the gallery, the Donahue Silton Gallery at 560 Broadway, 3rd floor. And also, please stay tuned for next week. Give me a call at 212-420-0800. I love hearing from you, and I look forward to seeing you all next week.
Grazie.
You have just seen some of the beautiful watercolors of Herman Hesse as they were being displayed in Soho, New York City, at the gallery. That's all been arranged by Karin Von Roques, who's the director of the Herman Hesse Museum, who we'll be speaking with for the next few minutes for the end of this show. I really enjoyed being around those paintings because the color was vibrating everyone in the space, you know? And I'm also very glad to have a quieter time right now where we can just talk about that a little bit and the purpose of the foundation. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So what was your feeling about the success of the show? How do you feel it went?
We had expectation that it would go very well in New York, and I must say really it was going well. First of all, you have taken these filmings at the opening, and actually the opening really was full of people. A lot of people came, and we had
it was well attended.
Really well attended, and we had also, after the resonance from, let's say, from the German consul and from the Swiss consul and from different American people also, that this opening was regarded as unusual. It was, first of all, that it was full attended.
Yes.
That the people also stayed there, and the quality of the people. It was regarded as an unusual success. And during the show, really I must say, the resonance was more than we really have expected.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's hope that this really presages the kind of success that the Herman Hesse Foundation in New York and wherever else it may take root in the world will have. That would be wonderful for one and all.
As I said, the museum don't want to remain only a place where you can see things out of the life of Herman Hesse. It will also promote cultural events, as well as the foundation we are now establishing in New York as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the basic idea was that we can work with the popularity of Herman Hesse to reach a lot of people. And as we have now seen from the resonance, really
the feedback.
Yeah, the feedback
Mm-hmm.
was really very, very big. And I mean, I was astonished how many Americans know very well about Herman Hesse.
Well, you have to understand, Karin, that we were raised. Yes, we were, as I was saying, Karin, spoon-fed Herman Hesse. As young, adults, it was just part and parcel of our education, both originating in school, as well as just more than anything among our peers. People who were of a certain intellectual headset were interested in the ideas that Hesse was bringing forth. So if anyone had any inclination toward a psychological or a spiritual life or sensibility, then they would find themselves reading Hesse.
Yes, I know that there was in the 68 this Hesse, as we say, Hesse wave, and but it is such a long time ago, and I was also astonished that even the young people, like the students, told me that they have read Hesse and they knew really a lot about him. So that was really very good.
Oh yeah, it must be very heartening for you.
It was, yes.
Exactly, exactly. So what now is the foundation seeking to do? You do not want to have a museum as many do, which is a place where people go and view art. Of course you want to have that, but you also seem to want to have more of an idea, import the idea of a living museum, a museum in motion, as it were.
Yeah, exactly. We have said from the beginning on that we want to go international, and why we are doing a foundation now in New York also is because naturally this is somehow it makes it easier to work for certain things, because New York is an international place where all spiritual, all intellectual movements, artist movements come together. They focus kind of.
We like to
place.
think so.
Yes, no, it is really like this.
Yes,
and
it is.
naturally also the museum needs funds, because we are also non-profit as a foundation. And
don't we all need funds?
Yeah, we all need funds, that's right.
We're all non-profit, right?
But the thing
God.
is that here in America they are much more familiar with these kind of things, and I have been already here last year to speak with different other foundations and corporations, and there is also a big interest to help us as the museum and the foundation.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So what are some of the cultural events you are looking to bring forth into New York and
I mentioned
elsewhere?
Yeah, apart from other exhibitions, for example, this exhibition will be in Atlanta and probably in Boston and maybe in Florida and San Francisco and in other cities of the United States. As I mentioned, Siddhartha, there will be a big program about Siddhartha. That means Siddhartha is the search for the sense of life, is a literary work of Hesse. I will invite philosophers, theologues, speaking about what it means, search for sense, and they also naturally speak in context of the work of Herman Hesse.
Beautiful.
And at the same
that I would like Karin to be part of.
Yeah, really.
In my role as a psychotherapist.
Yes, and on
that would be meaningful.
On the other hand, we invite Buddhist people of high degree who speak about the authentic Siddhartha who became Buddha. So I think this will be a very interesting putting together, on the one hand, the literary work and the authentic Siddhartha. So around this,
Beautiful.
you can create a very interesting program, and I think it will be really of concern for everybody.
Of interest to everybody. Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. And this is a kind of inquiry that will really keep Herman Hesse's work alive.
Exactly.
Because this is it's a living teaching.
Yes.
And it's so close to everyone's hearts to understand what life is about and what do we do with it, what are human values, and how can we upgrade through experience what our human values are.
Exactly. This is exactly the point. And in this way, the programs shall continue. I mean, this is just the most vivid sample how we want to do our programs. Referring to the novels of Herman Hesse, taking out some specific things people can identify themselves with, and then putting people together to have like lectures and having also discussions. What I think is a very important point as well is that the people have the possibility after to make questions and get into a discussion.
Question and answer period.
Yeah, because then they have maybe the feeling they get something from an event. They are not only passive, they are also active. So this is kind of
I think that's important also relative to the idea of a larger paradigm shift that we are helping to affect in the world, which changes the relationship of one person to authority. where you've got the standard picture or protocol of a lecturer and the audience, active, passive, but you have something that's more interactive. Because in fact, I have found that audience members will often know as much, if not more, knowledge, just simple knowledge, than a presenter. And number two, even if they don't have as much knowledge, they may have just a more interesting perspective on the information that is known.
Yes, yes.
Or intelligent questions to ask about what is not known.
Yes.
However you put it, it presents the world of man with greater dignity to allow everyone's voice to be heard, of those voices that want to be heard. This is all very much in the larger ideology of Hesse, I think, as well.
Yes, another program point, for example, will be about the topic ethic. So there will be invited constantly. It will be a series of lectures from different kind of people speaking about ethic. What I find is
ethics.
Very important, because people maybe have not
Mein
yet
Gott, ja.
the idea what it is about with ethic. I mean, especially also for younger people, that it is worth to believe in values and why, also in a situation which might be desperate. So because Hesse has gone through all these things.
Yeah.
But I think it is too much now to discuss
go into all of that.
this in the details.
Right. We are just about out of time.
Yeah, right.
And I really want to thank you again for helping to bring to New York the wonderful artwork of Hesse, as well as your spirited work in helping to establish a foundation here, a New York foundation, in the name of the Herman Hesse Museum. I just congratulate you on your work. I'm sorry that it's as much as it is, but you're really a very highly qualified person to be doing it.
Thank you.
So, yes, exactly. And it's been great to have you on the show as well.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Good, absolutely. And please, keep us in tune with what's happening, will you?
I will do that.
And we'll gladly have you back on the show. This is Mitchell J. Rabin for A Better World. Thanks so much for joining us. You know, on the show we like to include a range of subjects that are philosophical, psychological, spiritual, artistic, ethical, environmental, and humanitarian in nature. It's very important to us here in New York and the other places the show is seen to spread the word, as it were, the information and the inspiration to help people worldwide come together to create a better world. Please feel free to give me a call at 212-420-0800. Share your thoughts, feelings, and ideas with me. I love hearing from you, and I look forward to seeing you all next week.